How concerned are you about, we're seeing the blockades happening against Coastal GasLink all over the place. How concerned are you about similar actions of civil disobedience in regards to TMX and then eventually perhaps TEC?
Well, it's no secret that the same groups have been planning. I think this is a dress rehearsal for illegal protests on pretty much any major project. But let me just point out, again, the hypocrisy of all of this. The Coastal GasLink project is designed to take Canadian natural gas to our west coast, export it to developing countries like China, to help accelerate their conversion from high-emitting thermal coal to radically lower emissions from natural gas. We're always told we should have policy that's based on evidence. Well, the evidence is this. The single greatest thing that Canada could do to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions and to address the climate issues would be massively to increase our exports of LNG. Right now we have virtually none. If these folks were actually concerned about CO2 emissions, they would be calling for the acceleration of the Coastal GasLink project, not trying to shut down our economy, commuters, people trying to get to work because they're opposed to Canada playing a role in the essential conversion of thermal coal to natural gas as a major source of energy around the world. And it's certainly not about Indigenous rights, because every one of the 20 elected First Nations councils along the Coastal GasLink route, following extensive consultations with their grassroots members, including the elected council of the Wet'suwet'en people, support the project, including the majority of the hereditary chiefs of the Wet'suwet'en people. There are Wet'suwet'en people who have been hired by Coastal GasLink, contractors who have been contracted, ready to get to work. As former Chief Councillor Ellis Ross of the Haisla First Nation, current MLA in British Columbia, said, this isn't about Indigenous rights, this is about eco-colonialism, coming from people in urban southern Canada who are projecting their own fringe political agenda on the Indigenous people of northwestern Canada, who want to give a lifeline of hope to their young people. As Chief Ellis Ross said in a video posted this week, you know, when you're a chief in one of those communities, when you're a leader, your main responsibility is to ensure that the teenagers in your constituent, in your band, have an alternative to dependency, despondency, and sometimes a life of addiction. And he said that alternative is employment. So this is not about Indigenous people. It's not about carbon emissions. It's about a hard left ideology that is frankly opposed to the entire modern industrial economy. And I think it's about time that our police services demonstrated that this is a country that respects the rule of law. Allowing people to, completely destabilizing the lives of tens of thousands of people, costing all of us untold costs in our economy by shutting down ports and bridges, highways and railways, in opposition to the express democratic wishes of First Nations, is outrageous, and it has to end.
Meanwhile, back